Nice late 18th century box, but the cipher of the Prince of Wales, who left his hat box behind at Devonshire House. Never returned.
You can have the Prince of Wales's hat box?
You can have the Prince of Wales's hat box.
And if we lift the box up,
take
we've got something underneath it here.
Yep.
This, I mean, some of these things, they aren't the poshest of things, are they?
This is a relic of the mid-20th century. This was the latest bit of technology as far as the audio equipment went in the 1940s. This is a radiogram, drop-down record, 78s, and this is what the family, the Mitfords, danced to.
So the Mitford girls would have danced around this?
They had a wonderful time. The Duchess is responsible for the curious, or rather the Dowager Justice, for the curious condition, because she thought she didn't like this walnut veneer you could see inside, so she got two with the white paintbrush and gave it a coat of paint.
Well, that is that, I think. We see all the animals behind you, and if I just step to one side here, of course, if you really want the stately home style, this is what you require. The stag's heads, and not one, about a dozen of them. That and something to ram your cannon, all for sale here at Chatsworth. Certainly is an attic sale to think about.
He seems rather attached to that object there. David Silito with the treasures in the attic at Chatsworth House. It will be the lunchtime news, 1 o'clock news in a couple of minutes, but first let's take a look at the weather with Nick Miller.
Hello, the umbrellas are getting a workout today and more opportunities for that to come as the weather stays very unsettled. First, today's rain, and look at it so far. Bright colours feeding from south to north, wettest in Scotland at the moment, but more heavy rain to spill up across southern parts over the next few hours. A Met Office severe weather warning for the rain in eastern Scotland. That's really from Angus to Fife, also parts of Stirling and Perth and Kinross. That will take much of the afternoon before clearing, but as you can see, there's more rain to come elsewhere as well. The southeast will have a bit of a lull for a time. See, this area of rain, though, into central southern England and the Midlands will push further east, bearing down on the London area as we go into the evening rush hour. But as I mentioned, ahead of that, a brief lull after the outbreaks of rain we've seen so far today. But wet across the Midlands. It is 4 o'clock, northern England. Still some rain up across eastern Scotland. Still quite windy in the far northeast into the Northern Isles. But there are two sides of our weather story today, and the one further west is a brighter story. Northern Ireland, sunny spells, brighter skies getting into the western side of Scotland before the end of the afternoon, and also brightening up too across parts of Wales and the far southwest of England. The brighter weather comes with just a chance for the odd shower, but many of us will end the day on a dry note here. Now, this evening and overnight, we've got a lot of rain to clear away, so very wet this evening in London. All of it pushes away, but taking much of the night before clearing the far east, particularly the far southeast of the UK. Now, with the rain and the cloud in the east, the temperature holds up, but elsewhere it's a chillier night, and there'll also be some mist and fog forming. That's going to be quite widespread into the morning rush hour. There may even be some dense patches as well, so be aware of that. It will take some time to clear as well, perhaps hanging on even till the end of the morning across parts of the Midlands before finally clearing. And then for most, it's a fine afternoon with sunny spells, just western areas with a scattering of showers, the cloud increasing for Northern Ireland, Wales and the southwest. 16 to 18 degrees, feeling a little bit warmer with a light breeze and when you get some sunshine. Don't get used to it though. By Friday though, back to square one. October really announcing itself with a bang. We've got some more rain to come and some strong winds with that as well. Another frontal system, here it is, coming across the UK. The isobars and white lines close together. So not just heavy rain on Friday, but the winds really picking up as well. Gales possibly in the north and west. With the rain, a chance for some local flooding after the rain we're getting at the moment, of course. It's cumulative. Temperatures at around 16, 17 degrees. 5 for Saturday. More rain on Sunday.
Parking, embarking.
And bus lanes in Ealing.
Cab fares and phone scares to the city glass ceiling.
Bin bags in Belfast.
And roads in Dungannon.
House prices, rate rises.
Local down planning.
Prices in Stirling.
And vices in Mull.
Fox hunting, fly tipping.
Grey squirrel cull.
Jobs in the valleys.
Tourists in Rail. Hospital queues.
In the Brash of a Fill.
Banklands in Leicester.
And prisons in Preston.
Erosion in Poole. The West Lothian question. Tussles in Brussels. And planning permissions. Funding for London.
And farming and fishing.
Whatever issues you care about.
Wherever you are, we've got them covered.
The Politics Show with me, John Sopel, Sunday at midday on BBC One.
Defence Secretary warns the Prime Minister of grave consequences if draconian cuts are made to the armed forces. In a leaked private letter, Liam Fox urges David Cameron not to approve large cuts while soldiers are still fighting in Afghanistan.
Naturally, I deprecate any leak. It's appalling that a Secretary of State can't write to the Prime Minister in confidence, and we'll be looking into that.
Strikes and protests sweep Europe as hundreds of thousands of people protest against spending cuts. Will he stay or will he go? David Miliband will announce whether he'll remain in frontline politics this afternoon. 90 years on, a soldier's World War I diaries and drawings go under the hammer. And by royal appointment, Lord Snowdon's favourite portraits of the Queen launch a new exhibition.
And later, I'll have all the sport as Pakistan captain Salman Butt appeals against his suspension from cricket. He was one of 3 players suspended after allegations of spot fixing.
Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News at 1. It was supposed to be a private letter for the Prime Minister, but the Defence Secretary's warnings about the effect of spending cuts on the armed forces have become very public after the letter was leaked to a newspaper. In it, Liam Fox warns that draconian cuts to the military while British soldiers are fighting in Afghanistan would have grave consequences. Our defence correspondent, Caroline Wyatt, reports.
The man at the centre of what's now a very public Whitehall battle after his private letter leaked.
Naturally, I deprecate any leak. It's appalling that a Secretary of State can't write to the Prime Minister in confidence, and we'll be looking into that this morning. We were left an appalling